Hello, this is Sam Simon, also known as Dementia Man, with my weekly blog for the week of February 24th, 2025. If you're like me and live with either a caregiver or a person with a diagnosis of Alzheimer's or a memory issue, or you're a caregiver for someone with it, you might be a little bit concerned about what's going to happen in terms of resources and to just, with everything going on. And I'm not going to make a political comment here because I don't want this to get wrapped up into politics. Rather, I want to be helpful. What I mean by that is I was reading some of the about some of these changes and things going on, and I became worried about what's happening and what resources are going to be available to me and what are the best things to do in this environment. I have a favorite saying that um, if I'm worried about something, maybe somebody else is. My saying is, I'm not from Mars. And if I have a concern or a thought, I bet you some other people do too. Well, I think a bunch of us may have had this same thought. I did read, and perhaps you know, that there have been cuts at the National Institute of Health in the Alzheimer's area. And it's been on the news lately. About 10% of the employees who work on Alzheimer's have been let go. I think they said there were 100 and 10% is 10. So maybe that could be managed. I'm not getting good or bad. It's just happening. Also, they had a new person, a new head had been hired, and he's not going to be reporting. So I don't know what all this means. It bothered me. I said, where should I call? Where would somebody going through all this call to just check on things and what might it mean? Now, there are bigger levels, but of concern. But most immediately, does it affect me in any particular way? So what I did is I called the Alzheimer's Association hotline. That's 800-272-3900. They're the one hotline that I know of that's available 24 by 7. And I started to ask the question, and immediately I got, oh, we're not political. We have no, I'm not worried about the politics of it. I'm just wondering if you have been affected, if anything I need to know. What does it mean for me? Do you have any advice or concern? They assured me that they at the Alzheimer's Association have not yet been affected or have not been affected in any way. So their information, they don't give advice, but they give referral, they listen. So I did a little bit more research on my own and thought about it a little bit more. And it occurs to me that um, well, that the state and local facilities might be more important if there are major cutbacks on the national level, which I hope not. We are making such important progress in beginning to address this disease that I hope we continue to make that progress, and I continue to want to be of help myself. So I am committed, as you may know, if you followed it, if you listen to the show, to living as long as I can, to signing up for drug trials. Hopefully, they won't be reduced, though they may be, because you have to have government approval and government FDA has to be connected with them. But I'm going to still be trying to be as helpful as I can. I also learned a couple of other things. Um, there are, um, but let me actually talk about the local resources. There are in every Community Area Agencies on Aging. They're an important resource. I looked up the one in my area, I looked up the one in Kansas, and they all have really good resources. Also, the state departments of health have resources on aging. So the Virginia Department of Health has an entire section on dementia. They have somebody who works nothing but on Alzheimer's and dementia. So it's important to begin to think if you are a family and you need resources and you're concerned, there's also a national number, an elder care locator. That number is 800 677 1116. And they can help you find local resources for health and for, well, just resources. And actually, local resources are maybe the most important. Again, my big concern, and you've heard it before, is to avoid a lot of these self-help and extremists. There are lots of people who will sell you their latest soup to save your memory, and just got to be very, very careful. Find trusted resources. I encourage Googling those things. I found something new that I didn't even know existed. It's the Administration for Community Living. Now, it is a government agency, so they may end up being some cuts there too, but even so, I didn't know about them. And I love, their mission statement that everybody, particularly those with cognitive decline, deserve a dignified life and opportunities. They've got resources for finding employment in the government and other places with your cognitive impairment. We just found out, for example, in where I live, I didn't find it from the Administration on Community Living. Our synagogue held an event, and they featured a local ice cream and popcorn shop that hired only people with disabilities. So maybe even at 79 and a half, I can go help make ice cream someplace. I'm not going to do that, but there are resources, local resources, and I continue to hope that Alzheimer's.gov continues to be able to be a go-to place because we know it's reliable. It can link you to drug trials. It can link you to local resources, elder care. But you take a look at the Administration for Community Living, because that's one of the big things for me. In fact, Susan and I, one of our biggest things right now is where should we go look for communal living? When will be the time for us to make a move? And maybe we won't have to. We're thinking really hard about staying at home and figuring out how to do that, because a lot of the senior living communities in the area are very, very expensive. That's typically they require a down payment, which presumes you're able to sell a house, but you have equity in it, because you're going to need. The last one we went to and looked at, they want anywhere from 600,000 to 4 million down payment. Then the monthly fees are in the typically 4 to 12,000 a month, usually closer to the 12,000 a month. Those, it may just not be well, I'm sure it's not workable for a lot of people. So needing community support, there are a lot of adult care facilities that can help you if you can't go live somewhere. Maybe you can go find your local adult daycare facility. But we do have a resource page. We're going to expand it on dementiaman.com. We're going to put some of these, make sure you can see these emails. And if you have a good resource, send them to me. We'll put them up and help share them and help them make available to others. These are challenging times for everyone. There are a lot of changes. You can support them, you can oppose them. It doesn't matter. What matters is those of us living with this disease and going through an extraordinarily challenging time of our life. We need to know reliable resources, how to get in touch with them, and where to get help when we need it. So DementiaMan.com resources will be a place for that. And I just wanted to reach out because it was something I was thinking about today. And I did get that assurance from the Alzheimer's Association. Again, their 24-hour a day number is 800-272-3900. They're still there. They can suggest resources both locally and nationally. And there's that elder care locator, 800-677-1116. So I hope you have a good week, and hopefully if you listen to this, it's made you feel a little more comfortable, that you know where to go to for some resources and concerns, and that despite the cuts, it seems that they're still available to us. And we're all hoping that they continue to look for that ultimate ultimate cure for Alzheimer's and other diseases. And I, again, urge you to stay around, live the best life you can, and you too contribute to that research and help us find a cure. Thank you so much for listening and being part of Dementia Man.